I do think that shooting, I hope that'll be examined. Because
what's happened with the investigation? We don't know anything about this
well,
kid.
Piers, I don't know, because you're not from the United States. It's very common for assassins of presidents to have no motive at all.
Extraordinary.
And at the age of 20 to have no social media profile. He never went on the internet.
Nothing.
It's kind of weird.
No record at all.
Yeah, not at all. No cutlery in his own.
And that was like the crazy situation. What's the one guy, Luigi? When they said he did what he did, we knew everything about this guy within 24 to 48 hours. Donald Trump had 2 assassinations. We barely heard of Pete, what happened. No one's really been arrested. We don't know what's going on. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, well, the one guy is deceased.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's usually how it ends up. They usually don't make it, but like, yeah, when they are able to get a hold of the person, you would think that some background information would come out. At some
it was
point.
no motive, no anything.
Yeah.
With, Luigi, they had a motive. He had surgery. It went wrong. You know what I'm saying? We had the whole step by step.
Yeah, it was a reason that led him to that.
Yeah, we didn't get that on this side.
He'd have no social media profile. He never went on the internet.
Nothing.
Kind of weird.
No record.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, not all. No cutlery in his own home. Advanced bomb making skills. Operating drones, bringing in rangefinder, making a pretty great offhand shot at 150 yards under duress. It's just normal in America. The whole thing is so nuts, actually. The fact that the Secret Service allowed this to happen, which they did.
The guy's on the most. Oh, if I was running the Secret Service for the day, what's
Yeah.
the first place you'd look?
Right.
It would be the flat roof with a direct line on the stage.
You think? And there was not one agent positioned or assigned to look at that. None. They had no idea.
But why?
That's crazy. That's what first thing everybody looked at, because everybody knows the Secret Service, before the president even get there, the day before, they examining everything, the spots that where somebody could be at, and they got all the stuff. They know how all this stuff is going. So for somebody not to think that somebody's gonna be on that roof right in front of the president, it's crazy.
I just don't understand it because from personal life experience, not even when I was in the military, I was in a band.
Yeah.
At Dell State, and we marched in the inauguration parade.
Okay.
And just knowing all that they put us through
procedure.
that day, bro, we had to get bust into an area that was locked down. There's literal gates.
Yeah.
Everybody's accounted for. If you got to use the bathroom, you got to leave the safe area to come back.
Yeah.
And then all the things that I saw with my own eyes that they don't even show on TV. Like, you see the people in the parade line, but you don't see the snipers on the roof. They were really there in position, bro.
Yeah.
And then even when we came past the president, he was in it just looked like they were in a building with glass. That shit looked like a spaceship, bro. I ain't never seen glass that dense. You know what I'm saying? And just thinking through this actual occurrence, and then sitting here, when I seen it happen, I was like, how the hell
There's no way possible.
did you even get in that position?
There's
It's
no way.
too tight.
And then they say you was walking around with a big ladder. They had to put the ladder up.
Put the
climb
ladder
up the
up,
ladder.
climb up the ladder. People are literally pointing like it's someone on
Somebody
the
up
roof
there.
with a gun.
We all seen the videos.
Yeah, and then when you look back at the other videos, when you're seeing from the position that the snipers actually had,
Yeah.
like they were looking at the
There's
dude.
no way you could not see him.
They seen him.
You had to be turning a blind eye. There's no other way.
Agent positioned or assigned to look at that. None. They had no idea.
But why?
Good question. Good question.
Well, because they wanted to kill Trump, obviously.
Oh, wow.
The Biden administration wanted to kill Trump. I mean, there's no doubt.
Do you genuinely think
Of course,
that?
I know that. And I know that by what I saw. In other words, if you leave your child inside a locked car on a hot day and go into a casino and spend
Right.
3 hours gambling and the kid suffocates,
Yeah.
I can say, Piers, you killed your child. You say, well, I didn't mean to. It doesn't matter. You didn't care enough about your child that you went back and rescued him from suffocation.
Yeah.
It's demonstrable.
Yeah.
Your intent can be divined from your actions. If you allow a roof 140, 30, 40 yards away to remain unsurveilled, a guy with a rangefinder and a drone to come into your area while the presidential candidate is speaking, you don't care about saving the life
And
of that man.
I actually thought what happened.
I agree with a lot what he's saying, because it's like the question got to be asked: why wasn't a sniper sitting on top of that roof? You got a roof wide open to deter anybody from even going up there. Why didn't you just have a sniper up there?
That whole area was supposed to be accounted for.
Yeah.
There is no blind spot.
Yeah.
There is no safe area with no. It's not supposed to happen.
We know that they account for every spot that that somebody could put a line on the
Line of
president.
fire, line of sight.
That
Yeah.
is one of the best places to be at, and it's not.
And it's the
covered.
only place that's not accounted for. It just makes zero sense.
It makes no sense at all.
Happened at the golf course a few weeks later was even worse in this sense. This is a few weeks after he's
Yeah.
actually been shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's playing at his own golf course where he regularly plays at weekends when he's in Florida. And he was 5 minutes away of walking up to a green where if one Secret Service agent who happened to walk ahead had not seen the barrel of a rifle poking out of a bush,
Right.
that guy had a loaded AK-47, he had body armor, he was ready to go.
Yeah.
Trump would be dead. And that would have been, I think, the biggest scandal ever, because that was just weeks after
Well, it is the
he'd
biggest
already
scandal.
survived an assassination. But no one makes
And I like that he's making a great point. Like after somebody already tried one assassination attempt, why wouldn't y'all beef up security?
Yeah, everything should be tightened down.
Now it shouldn't be no loopholes or nothing where somebody could even get that off, because we're doubling security, we're checking everything more, because it's already been shown that someone's trying to put an attempt on your life, and for us to do this, have the same problem happen again where someone get almost close to actually
It's too close.
succeeding in their goals, it just looked funny under the light.
First off, how do you even get on the golf course with body armor
And a gun.
and an assault rifle?
We're just walking around.
Like, come on, man.
It
Some of this is just like
look funny.
it's beyond funny. You got full body armor, full tactical armor on, and a AK-47.
Yeah, it's like when the stories came out and when you put the pieces together and hear everything how it went. He's like, is this real or this fake? It doesn't sound like this could really happen in real life.
It sounds like, what are the people doing who are getting paid so much money to protect him?
Yeah, facts.
that was just weeks after
Well, it is the
he'd
biggest
already
scandal.
survived an assassination. But no one makes much of a fuss about that either.
How many members of Congress did that guy meet with? A lot. He was in Ukraine, which is controlled by the U.S. intel services. I mean, that's just a fact. He was in Ukraine, which is a kind of wellspring of lunacy. Sorry, I know you support it, but it's done more to destabilize the West than anything that's happened in my lifetime. And the amount of evil that has emanated from that country, the amount of assassinations that have come from Ukraine, I happen to know, is very high. And so this guy is in Ukraine and having contact. Well, how many members of Congress did he meet with, and what do they talk about? This is an assassin. No, we don't know. So, and we don't know.
Again, the media, fascinating. The mainstream media. When was the last big piece you read about either assassination? And yet, if that had been an attempt on Obama, on Biden, on Harris, on anyone on the Democrat side, they wouldn't stop talking about it.
Because everybody knows.
And it was like, it came and went. You
Yeah.
heard about it for a day or two. It disappeared out the news cycle. Then the next attempt happened. They talked about it for like 24 hours, and then it disappeared. And we all was left wondering, like, what happened? Because normally, like he said, the stories keep going and going.
Yeah,
and going.
because this isn't a story that just dies like that. Not an attempt on your president's life.
And it died quick over
You know what I'm saying? This moved like a song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had the
Drop
music
one
that
day,
comes
and the
out.
next day something else is out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The next hour something else is out.
And it's crazy. And this was right here was during the presidential race when everyone's covering everything that's
Yeah.
going on with Kamala and Trump, and this just disappeared out of the news cycle.
Thin air.
knows what this is. These are not lone gunmen any more than, Lee Harvey Oswald was a lone gunman. The lone gunman killed by a lone gunman 2 days later. Okay now. I mean, it's just it's so horrifying that clearly both of these guys were agents of the permanent government in Washington or globally. And there's like no honest person who could deny that. It's just so obvious. And I think that people don't want to wrestle with that because it's incredibly disturbing. And I think it's also possible that people in the Trump administration don't want to deal with it. I mean, they're still guarded by the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And whatever elements tried to murder Trump are still in the positions they occupied.
I mean, I
this
watched him
summer.
the other day walking through a Las Vegas casino, and everyone was like, "Isn't that great?" And I was like, "Wow, really? They're letting the president walk through an open casino with endless amounts of people milling around." I think you can carry guns in Vegas. I think, can you? It seemed to me a very high risk environment to put a guy who literally just survived 2 assassination attempts.
Is it 2? I mean,
well, there are more, I think, aren't there?
I mean,
but we don't know about. I don't think that Trump doesn't want people to know about
exactly.
probably the reality.
I think what you're saying is true. So, I think it's even more extraordinary than you're saying, actually, or than we really know.
Do you worry about him staying alive, literally?
No. Because I think that if you're going to lead, you have to be willing to risk your life. I mean, obviously,
courageous.
I mean, of course, I love Trump personally, so it's like, no, I mean, I can't imagine a few things worse than Trump being harmed. And so I don't want to be cavalier about that, but I also think, as a factual matter, you cannot lead anything, including your own family, unless you're willing to lay down your life for it. I've always thought that. I mean, that is what it is to be a leader. I'm putting other people before myself. It doesn't mean that you take senseless risks, of course, but it does mean that you have a measure of physical courage, and Trump is displaying that a lot. And
he is definitely displaying that, because a lot of time when people have an attempt on your life, you go into a shell, you try to box yourself in, you try to give them less opportunities. But we seen Trump been real active out here moving around. We just seen him at the Super Bowl around what it looked like hundreds of thousands of people. So he's not going to shell, he's not going to cocoon. He's out there letting you know that I'm out here doing what I need to do, and I'm actually putting my life on the line to get what I need done for y'all.
I don't think people really think about it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like, to be shot would be bad enough, you know what I'm saying, or shot at, you know what I'm saying. Those type of things have lasting
PTSD, trauma.
trauma with it. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Now you can say, oh, the guy missed or whatever.
Yeah.
But he missed grazing his face and clipping his ear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If he didn't turn his head at that last second.
That's what I'm getting at.
It just was a head turn.
We're talking about a head shot.
If he did not turn his head, we'd be having a different conversation.
It would be a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I really don't understand how they could drop the ball in such a way.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you're almost like dangling him out there.
Yeah.
You're going to walk him through a casino where you could just have guns?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, I've seen a lot of different things with the president, and they clear areas out, houses, offices, just so you don't even have to worry about these types of things.
They do it the day before.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like they just walking him on the set
before he even get there. They send people there before him to
check everything. You know who's there, who's not there, what areas are clear, what areas aren't clear.
Yeah.
Back to the shooting on the roof.
Yeah.
Somebody seen that even before and said, this is an exposed spot. We need eyes on this spot.
This is the main spot we need to be watching. We watching anything, we need to watch this spot right here. So that's why it really makes no sense.
No sense.
I think it's essential. I think it's absolutely essential. And you'll hear people say, well, I'll never take any risk. No. You want to lead, you have to. That's what the job is taking risks.
Funny enough, I talked to him a week after he was shot.
It's taking risks if you gonna make a change. If you're gonna keep everything quote pro, then you don't have to be in danger. But if you plan on changing the establishment, aka draining the swamp, exposing people,
shaking things up a little bit,
that's what it comes with.
You want to lead, you have to. That's what the job is taking risks.
Funny enough, I talked to him a week after he was shot. And I said, it takes a lot. I said, not just to get up when you did, but a week later, you'll be back on finished another rally. And I said, did you not have any second thoughts about getting on a stage with 20,000 more strangers a week after you were shot?
Yeah.
And he said an interesting thing, a very rare moment of kind of slight vulnerability that he was admitting. He said, I knew if I didn't get back out quickly, I may never get back out. I thought that was a really honest.
That's a great saying. That's what they tell you, like when you like fall down off a bike or a horse, you need to get back up there right now, because if you don't, it's gonna be in your head. You might not never get on there. So time you fall, you got to get back up. And I'm glad that he did that, because after a while, your mind started to play tricks on you.
Yeah, and it'll eat at you.
The mind is undefeated.
I knew if I didn't get back out quickly, I may never get back out.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really honest thing.
It wasn't a week, it was 2 days.
Yeah.
Because he was shot on a Saturday, and the Republican convention started Mondays.
Right.
I'm looking at my picture. I'm remembering this right.
The Saturday afterwards was when he did the first rally afterwards. Where he was
but I mean, he was in the middle of a stadium in Milwaukee. I was sitting next to him, and I talked to him that night. I mean, what struck me the most was his attitude the night he was shot. I talked to him late night Saturday night about something else, and I said, well, that's kind of, are you okay? Yeah, okay. Didn't want to talk about himself at all. And the first thing he said and went on about it was how brave the people in the crowd were. And I thought, he's often been called, well, he's always called a narcissist, but here in his moment of crisis, he's directing attention to other people. I thought that was so Because as you said, you don't really know a man until there's a lot of pressure.
Do you think he's
applied.
changed? I mean, I've spoken to him a few times.
That's why like people will have that impersonation about Trump because of what you're getting from the media. But a lot of times that's why he called the media fake news, because obviously we could see that a lot of the stuff that they was trying to tell us about Trump just wasn't true. It was a lot of fair muggling going on. So like you said, you would think that about him until you get to know him. And he's like, you're not a narcissist like they try to paint you out to be.
Yeah, and it happens a lot because you only can go off of what you see
or hear
and what you hear.
Yeah.
And until you actually interact with for yourself,
yeah,
that's what you're left with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why you always give each individual person what they deserve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You come at them a certain way and you learn who they are, and then you can appreciate who they are.
That's why I've been like that a long time ago. You don't go off with like what people tell you about a person. You wait till you meet them, then you make your own assumptions about them. Because people just might not like a person for whatever reason, and then just start saying stuff about them.
They don't even need a reason.
Yeah.
They just don't like them. Just don't like them because I don't like them.
He got on a red shirt.
And to me, that's the worst. Like, to not like someone, okay. To not even back someone, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But have a reason for doing such.
Yeah.
Not just because everybody doing it.
Yeah.
Not just because it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, what are your reasons?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times, I'm glad you said that. A lot of times, it's just because what I call monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
It feel like a lot of people don't like this person, so I don't want to be against the crowd, so I'm just going to join into them, so I don't be out here isolated by myself, and it happens like every day.
You don't really know a man until there's a lot of pressure.
Do you think
applied.
he's changed? I mean, I've spoken to him a few times, not as much as you will have done, but I do detect that two things have changed him as a man. One, getting a second chance at life, literally, where half an inch and he's dead. And the other, getting another go at the presidency, which was, whatever people want to say, it was completely derailed by the pandemic. And I think that without that pandemic, he'd have been re-elected very comfortably.
Yeah.
And so he had a chance, a sort of do-over at two things, professional and personal.
Yes.
And I do sense with him, both privately but also what I'm seeing in public, a slightly changed guy. Do you feel that?
Oh, I strongly feel that.
Yeah.
I strongly feel on many levels. I've noticed it. I mean, I was at the inauguration, and right near him when he gave that inaugural. I've never seen him read. He's an amazing conversationalist, a wonderfully entertaining host in person, and he's a great extemporaneous speaker. But he's never been a great teleprompter reader. He didn't miss, as a teleprompter reader, I notice he didn't miss a single word.
Wow.
In that inaugural, he was just so calm.
I've been here
stylistic,
before.
but I think it speaks to something
and
deeper.
disciplined.
And disciplined.
And really focused, right?
But the pitfall, look, I mean, Trump has full command of the U.S. government to the extent anybody ever does, because it's so huge. And more power in his first week of the presidency than any president in my lifetime, more than Reagan. I do think that
before we get out of the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. To our next video is Tremaine Jones.
And it's Lamar Wilson.
And we out.